So I'm going to do both. I'm going to record the audio and the video because we want to start putting the podcast online for video. So I'm trying it out.
Okay.
I have an engineer and he thinks it's a good idea. So we're going to try it. So you're the first video.
Okay, perfect. Great. Listen. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so you're the first video. I think it's befitting. From our last conversation, you and I just have a great chemistry together on camera, I can say.
Yeah, right. So yeah.
I was happy to know that you were the first video, by the way, that you were the first podcast today.
Yay! Good. I was excited. I was like, okay, cool. Yep. I love that energy. Just bring that energy.
And so I have a loose schedule, light questions, really just want to introduce the people to all of the awesome women that have been like pouring into these festivals. And and that's like my true intent. So I just recorded a podcast the other day, and that should be coming out this week. Just letting my listeners know that we're going to start a series introducing them to these holistic practitioners that just are like rocking in these festivals. And because they need to know how awesome Black women are in the holistic arena right now. And so that's very important. One of the things that so many women have said to me in doing these festivals is that, you know, we meaning Black women, really don't have like our own safe space as holistic practitioners. Like it's
very true.
It's kind of convoluted, it's diluted, it's integrated
information, it's fixing, it's trying to help. So yeah.
And so we have to create our own kind of spaces. And so that I said, okay, well, here we go. That's what we will do. So I wanted to start to introduce some of the women who I've met, and their energy is amazing, and people, the public gravitate to them, and just kind of get you guys out there. We'll talk a little bit. Plus, I want to know about your journey, you know, your spiritual journey and things like that. I don't know that we touched on it much in the live.
Yeah. During the other live, I don't think, no, we didn't touch on that at all. Not exactly like how it was. It was more for what to expect and what I do. Not necessarily my journey or how it started and all of that. So,
and all of those things.
Yeah.
So I will say, I don't know if you've listened to the podcast, but my podcast, the Divine Feminine Podcast, has been out since COVID. It was a birth child of COVID. And so since 2019, it's going on 3 years. And we talk about lifestyle, family, culture, and spirituality, all from a African traditional perspective. And that's kind of what we do. And so I'm thinking in these series, I really, as holistic practitioners, I just want to know, like, how'd you get started, your journey, you know, and what that looks like when it comes to family and love and lifestyle and, you know, kind of like the human side. Then, of course, we want to introduce everyone to your services and where they can find you and all of those things. But I just I don't want to say I want to get nosy, but I want to get close. I want
Oh,
to engage.
I'm like, it's not really nosy. It's finding out, which I think most people kind of go through of how, when, what happened.
Right.
And
Because a
defeating
lot of us
fear.
have the same story or have
Yeah,
similar stories, right?
yeah,
Because the
yeah,
divine calls us, and there's certain challenges that we have to go through. So there's certain similarities that some of us may have. Women listening to this, hearing your story, hearing my story, it may give them some comfort, because more women are waking up, more women are engaging and getting the call. So the more we share, the more we help heal. Yeah.
exactly. So,
So let's start with the introduction. This is Empress Joshett. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
yep, it's Joshett. I'm named after my
Joshett.
grandfather. His name is Josh, so we put an "et" on it.
Hey, I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
So you're named after your grandfather.
yes, I'm actually named after my grandmother and my grandfather. So that's why I always tend to tell people, I'm like, okay, make sure you're respectful to my name, because my passed on loved ones, that anytime you say my name, you say their name.
Yes, that's true. So what's your grandmother's name?
Her name's Laura. So my first name is Laura, but I go by Empress.
Mhm.
And then of course Joshett is for my grandfather. So
What would you like me to call you today?
I go by Empress. Everyone knows me as Empress. Laura's very for my close, intimate family.
Right.
That call me that. This is my I like to say this was my calling name. So that's how I got to Empress Joshett.
Okay.
So
Empress,
yeah,
welcome.
thank you. Hello.
So tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got started, and all of those lovely things.
Okay, perfect. Well, of course, I do energy channeling, tarot readings. There was a point I had to relearn how to pray again in my energy and recognize the communication from the divine and when it wasn't. But
Can we just stop there for 1 second? Because you said
yeah,
something that I hear a lot in working with my mentees, and
mhm,
that was you had to learn how to pray again.
yeah.
So what was the old way that you used to pray, or that old way that were taught initially? And then when you say you had to relearn, what was the relearn, and what was that process? Help me walk through that.
So a lot of this is, I think sometimes it's a mimic, or I'm not going to say we mimic, it's more of less how someone told me how to, but I think I would pray without looking for the communication back. It was just stating it. And not looking for how things were going to come in. Like, you do your prayer, your nightly rituals, without really thought. You more or less did it because you were taught. So when I went into this journey, it was more or less, okay, oh, so you do have a conversation with me. And that does sound like this. Oh, wait, so you do respond. Okay.
Mhm.
And there's a time of confusion, which I think a lot of us go through. So I was introduced to spirit through religion, through my brother, who is a minister. Though we practice two separate ways, and that's fine. For me, spirit is spirit. It doesn't matter. But I always say it's religion and then spirituality, where you need both. You got to make sure you respect both, because religion is what introduced me to a divine, a higher being. And then spirituality is that direct frequency where I talk to you directly. But if I would have never been introduced to it, then I wouldn't be able to have a direct conversation with you.
Mhm.
So when it comes to that aspect, of course, we come in prayer warriors. My aunt is a prayer warrior, but my mother also, I'm Creole, and then my grandmother is Haitian. So my mother did keep like voodoo dolls, and there were certain practices and salt, don't sweep my feet. Like some of the things that we feel like, oh no, you're just, it's like, no. Dreaming of snakes and getting up before the sunrise, draw a snake in the dirt and cut it off. So it's little things that I did not notice of what it was until I got older and went through things. When I lost my mother, I feel like that pushed me into my spiritual awakening.
How old
Um,
were you when you lost your mother?
so I lost my mom in 2011. So how old am I? I'm 35. So it's like 25 when I was 25. And then a couple years later, I lost my brother. So I always tell people, we're taught how to lose our parents, but no one ever teaches us about when we lose a sibling, and it's a totally complete different grief when you lose a sibling. Because I don't know, I guess we never really think about that. And it's different because it's like that's the one that's supposed to help you get through the loss of a parent. But my mother was a powerhouse. I come from a powerhouse very much from my grandmother's, my aunt. She was the first Black African American activist in Washington State, Black president, Black Panther Party, all of that. So I kind of picked up the spirituality thing. I just never thought into it until she passed, and I started getting more into it, of course, communicating. And also I noticed I always did things, but I did not understand. But that's because it was just a part of me. So a lot of people kind of think like, oh, spirituality, you have to go and do this and these go and get crystals and things. And yes, that's nice at modern day, but a lot of our ancestors just use the rocks from earth, which is what I like because the earth holds energy. So I'd rather go to the water and grab rocks from there where it's a direct than from the store sometimes. I'm very much old school still, just regular iodine salt of protection. And then I just started knowledge, really. I'm obsessed with reading and knowledge. I'm like that geek, that nerd that was very much to herself, and learned a lot. And then when I got older, I started to express myself, but also I just feel like things just started to come in for me. And that's kind of like, it just started to be the affirmations. It's weird because I never saw myself going into this until like my passing of my mom and a really traumatizing relationship that I was in for a domestic violent relationship for 7 years. And then when I finally walked away, it's like it opened things up. People don't understand the power of walking away.
Right.
So, also with spirituality, a big thing is dating is hard. I'm like, people, I'm just like, that's okay. I'm to myself. I am very to my energy. Like, let me, because I can read through. I don't have time. It's like, you know what? Let me just,
Right.
because
It's very, very challenging to find someone who can support you, right?
Yeah.
And give you the space that you need to understand you. Because they don't understand what we go through,
No.
and each one of us has different challenges,
Yes.
and understanding that without judgment and respecting us in our calling, but then also loving us as a woman,
Yes. So it's a lot of like, because that's why it's like, okay, your belief system, I'm not a demon. Like, I need you to retrain your mind. There's a lot of things I always call myself a walking representation. So that is why every time that I go somewhere, I'm very open about it. I like to educate people on what voodoo priestess, what it's really for, because I feel like everything's really convoluted. Like what's been told is such the wrong story.
We have to fight through a lot of the propaganda that's been put against our spiritual systems, right?
Yes.
So my family background, my maternal line is from Louisiana also. And so even when I was learning, going back the generations in my family about the traditions and the things that we knew as women, it only went so far. There were certain people that didn't want to talk about it and didn't want you in it. And then there were other people, they would let you know, but it's like a very hush hush thing. And it's because of the propaganda, right? And so for me, it was like, okay, well, I want to go back to source because I'm such a light soul. I did not see any representation in I don't want to say I didn't see any representation. I did study hoodoo and Louisiana voodoo for a while, for a quick second. But for me, I went more towards the source. I wanted more knowledge. I was always a seeker and going further and further and further down. I wanted to know why, and where did this and what. So it took me back to Africa. It took me back to Benin, which is the birthplace of voodoo, actually. And so when I hear your story, I understand because there's a lot that goes on with a woman and a broom. You know, there's a lot that go, you do not sweep anyone's, that is like a big taboo. You don't sweep my feet. And people don't understand that, but that goes back in our culture all the way back to Africa today. The last thing you want to do,
right. Listen, I go into
like a curse.
I mean,
do you hate me? Do you hate me? Why are you sweeping?
Right. I don't even be around. Hold up. Let me get out the kitchen before. Let me move. Let me.
And you know, when you're teaching children, they just go and it's like, no.
Okay. Yes. Listen.
No, you have to keep a mindset. Like I teach my children, there's a certain mindset that goes with sweeping. You should be wishing prayers into your house. You are removing all of that bad energy, the energy from the day before. You are anything that was sent to your house, anything that was sent to us, sweep it out. You know, like there's a whole mindset and a frame that goes around sweeping. So that is something that we take from our ancestors all the way back home, and it's rooted in our spiritual system. Yeah. A matter of fact, it was so good, and I'm gonna let them in on our little conversation that we had before the festive, right? So Empress Joshett was a part of the San Diego festive. And I got a list of the vendors, and I went to her profile, and I was just like, whoa, I like what she's doing. However, is she on light or dark? I couldn't understand. I didn't know. I because, hey, we have to ask these questions.
Yes, no, that's very true.
The work that we do, I explain it all the time. It's like a knife. We can cut bread, we can use it to help, or we can take a neck.
Exactly.
And we can kill. You don't blame the knife.
No.
You blame the practitioner.
Exactly.
And so spirituality is the same way. There's light workers and there's dark workers.
Yeah.
It's very true. And so I remember having that conversation and getting to know you a little more. And I said, I like her. Like her. She is all about educating and all about enlightenment. And it's almost like playing on the stereotype just to get you to come in and see it really ain't all what you thought it was. It's really light and love and goodness, right? So I like the approach because we have a hard job, you know, especially us being the forerunners in this revolutionary change that's going on. We have a hard job in that we have to change people's mindsets and paradigms and get them to understand that learning the science of nature, learning how to communicate with the divine, learning how to keep that channel through your ancestral lineage, it's important, and there's nothing demonic about it.
No.
Absolutely.
It's all about where you put your power. So I say I'm very flexible, I'm very open. Sometimes I don't look like your regular divine feminine. I'm very different. Because I'm almost calling you, but this is my portion. I always say, you know, the divine has me operating in my authenticity. Because, you know, I always say the divine don't want no actors. They want someone who's authentic. And that's why I don't think of all the things I've went through as negative. It was necessary. Yeah, so it's like, you know, as we go into this, there's a balance between light and dark, but there's also an understanding. So yes, I may know about some of the things, the Kulani and things like that, of different backgrounds and things, but I know that so that I'm aware. But would I use that? No, because we know anything we send out comes back. But I also have to have an understanding of who certain people are, because as you grow spirituality, as you grow in spirit, you start getting attacked. And so you had to learn and also just recognize what was going on with me, what we go for, and said, this is not the craft, this is not charm. I'm not big on even what I feel a lot of us use, Marie Laveau, things like that. It's not taught. It's not the way that it is. It's kind of just a way for you to, and it's not real. So that's something I do fight a lot, is like our shows, even with our own people, it's the wrong information and it's so negative that it's like a lot to fight off. We have to do things so people are not fearful, but more or less once they talk to me, it's like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Again, we're definitely connected. That's why I say with our people, we don't go camping. And it's like, why don't you go sit with Earth? That isn't, actually we do very well when we do that. And
we do.
Brown, like maybe you won't be so like and have a moment.
Take your shoes off from time to time, right?
Right. Okay. Me, look, you walk around barefoot. I sure do. And then I go cleanse.
Let me tell you, on the day of the festive, I lost my shoes. Someone had to put my shoes away. I don't wear shoes. If there's grass around, why am I going to choose to put shoes on?
Right. Exactly. Nope, I'm good. But that's also another way of blocking our power, intuition, because I know that if we really knew, what our intuitive, like I say, intuition has nothing to do with religions, belief systems. This is your makeup. This is what you were made of. So the thing is, it's also respecting and understanding that I've had to educate myself on several ways. I can talk to you any way. Am I psychic or am I prophetess? Which word do I need to say for you to ingest this? Because a word is a word, but a word is something with power. If I don't say the word, I'm what makes it. So whatever language I need to speak to you, to connect with you in spirit, I'll learn your background, your background, your background. But at the end of the day, spirit is spirit, and it's something that you feel. So that's something that's your own personal journey. It's something you've all personally went through. But at the end of the day, a lot of us just need a lifeline. It's okay. What else is going on? Because that's when it comes to, we don't know how to spiritually protect ourselves from depression and why we feel low. Get up and go take a shower, put your hands under some water. That's a healing mechanism. And if we did know this, then it would be more helpful to our mindset instead of like running, and had more of an understanding of that. So I like to learn on every level, every religion, so then I can communicate with you and yours. But at the end of the day, we're going to come to a medium, because spirit is spirit, and those are just words. So
yeah. I hope you guys are listening to this. She is dropping gems, taking notes. She is telling you how to help and heal yourself. If you're listening, those who have the ear to hear, listen, write, and take notes. You guys are on your journey. Well, I thank you for being here. We had a wonderful time at the festive. And let me just say, for everyone who is listening and you didn't make it to the festive, you need to make it at the next one, right? Make an effort, right? You have to persevere. You cannot take anything from this existence without giving first. So if you're like, oh, there was so much chaos going on that morning and I just didn't make it, there was this, and you know why? Because you had to pay existence first. You were going to get such a good thing if you had just persevered and made it.
Exactly.
But you didn't do that. So let me tell you what you missed out on. Miss Empress, she had a line down. I don't know whose line was longer, sis. Let me say.
I was trying to get to you. I was like, okay, wait.
Let me tell you, she was on the lineup. If you guys go back to the Eventbrite, she was on the lineup as one of the workshop presenters. But as soon as she put her tent up, there was line. What do? You divine. Oh, let me help you. Can I be your first reader? Can I be your first one? She had a line out the building.
I'm not here. Exactly. I'm not here to tell you.
She didn't even get to present.
Exactly.
She didn't even get to do her workshop because she was working the whole time.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a fortune teller. I always I'm not someone to tell your future. I'm someone to help put you back on your path. And that's what's first. Self-love, and sometimes just being okay. You need to be okay first. And as long as you walk out okay, then you can face the world in a different way. This isn't about futures and things. Are you okay now? What do you need to work on now on you? I always say love is a bonus gift, okay? So once you know your path, then love comes in. But you got to know you first, or you can't love anybody else. You won't know. You you get distracted. That's another reason why love will get parted way. It's like, no, are you on your path? Are you doing what I put you here on this earth to do? Or focused on love. So yeah. But thank you for having me. I am beyond grateful. And I feel honored, definitely. I was very surprised when I saw, I was like, oh, it's so
No, it's a
like,
great,
oh, it's an
it's a
actual
great,
healer. Like,
man, it's for real. And I'm telling you now, where there's ladies that are trying to get us to come to Los Angeles and do the festive. So I'll be reaching out if that manifests and starts to come together. I'll definitely let you know. And just for everyone who may be listening or watching, can you just give us a little bit of a description, describe for everyone what the festive was like in your words?
For me, it was just very powerful. It's the energy. It felt safe. It was something you knew you walked into where you're going to feel safe, but also change. So I come in one way and I leave the other. And it's another thing when you have a sacred space mixed with certain energies and that someone was listening without even speaking, and you were amongst other like-minded individuals, because a lot of times we feel alone and ostracized. So it's nice to finally come to a place where you can be you and then get an understanding of me, because a lot of people walk in and you get the regular way with our hair and kind of the look, but we don't get the energy of the soul. And that's what that was. We were feeding your soul. It was food for thought. It was food for your soul to acknowledge your own personal power. Hey, this is me, and oh, this isn't wrong. This is right. And oh, I feel so good that I finally made it. Because a lot of people went through a lot of things and then came and then felt better when they left, which was necessary. Okay. So I just think it was just a powerful moment from the altar on. It spoke without words. Okay. When you walked in, you knew. You knew that
Describe the altar. They don't know how much energy and intent was on there. Go ahead. I'll let you describe first.
Oh, the altar is just powerful when you walk in, from what you see in the offerings. And a lot of people get confused on what an altar should look like. When really it's all self-made. It's offering the fruits and our alcohol. Some people don't understand that, and tobacco, but it's also more of a powerful place of prayer, meditation, however you want to see it. And you actually feel something when you come in, but it makes a stance. I can't really describe it too much. It's just more of like, it's a feeling. And that's why I always advise people to come, because at the end of the day, it's something that you have to feel for yourself. We won't even be able to just describe it. And more or less just know it was healing. You can ask for your blessings and receive them, but do you see it when you get it? Because also we always look at things a certain way, but half the time we don't notice. We manifest everything that we in right now. So you don't look the way that you think it was supposed to look, or how your mind, but actually you're sitting in your manifestation. So if you don't like what you're sitting in, then it's time for you to it's up to you to change that.
Something else. And I'll just let you guys in on a little bit of the intent and what was behind the altar. So to go and give a little more depth to what Empress is explaining and expressing to you guys. So prior to the festive, of course, I had been preparing myself, right? Fasting, going before the divine every day. I prepared the prayer cloths for everyone to wear on their head. Well, not everyone, there was a certain amount for people to wear on their head, and they were active in the shrine. And that particular altar was specific for the Great Mother and Mami Wata. And so everything put on there was specific for that particular female energy. And there was, I don't even know if you noticed, but on top of the shrine was, did you see that basket? Did you
Yes.
see it?
Yes.
So that was the deity itself.
Okay.
So the deity was there, and then everything there. So the energy that you're expressing, the feeling that you're expressing, that was the radiation, right, thereof, and also the answer of the call that
Yes.
she was sending, that the deity was sending out.
Yes.
So everybody, you see, it's when you have a priest in your corner.
Listen here. Listen.
It's different. We roll different.
Right.
And that's what it's like, and we activated that morning. We got down and we prayed and we put her the exact everything that she wanted. It was like, why is there powder and perfume everywhere?
And people
That's
like, yes, that's what she, and that is our source. That is our power. That is how we go. It's like, I always tell,
and
see,
it
you
was an
scared of me
amazing event.
until the doctor and the therapist, and then you come to us. But first you were fearful, but we are the hit.
The energy has changed and they don't understand why. So that's a little bit about the altar. The altar was about 3 tiers high. It was about 3 tiers high. It was full of fabric. I brought the fabric straight from Africa the week before. The fabric was all just draping down. We had pictures and alcohol and all of the fruits and goodies. People had given gifts and all of those things were there to adorn her. And it was just an amazing time. And that was when you walked in.
Yep, that's what I was saying. It sets the tone. Like it's because we have to give honor. That's what I always say. We give honor in order to get the things, but it's not good because they know what our needs are. But you can show, remember me. Give me pay homage, because yes, it is me that does the work. It is me that spiritually speaks to you, and that's where it's beginning. That's why your energy changes as soon as you walk in, because that's also our protector. So just in case anybody want to act, because we know what we got to be on some. Everybody come in, they say, everybody who come in, that how many energies are attached, because perhaps if you don't know how to cleanse yourself, when you come in, all these energies attached to you, so it has to be powerful. She has to sit at the head, because all of that's where it starts as soon as you walk through that door.
Yeah. And some of them couldn't walk through, right? They just, it wasn't for them.
It's like, okay, because it's nothing to play. It's the energy. Don't play. It's not for play. Make sure you're ready, because if you fake and mess up, listen, Linda, them ancestors, look, it's not about me. It's about them. And what I don't see they do, they be coming knocking at your door. Make sure.
And that's what people don't understand. It's not about us, right? As practitioners, it's not about us. It's about them and what they want. And all we have to do is facilitate, listen, and just answer the call and just do.
Answer in light. We don't play with dark. We use protection. Listen, we don't, and nor will they allow us. And that's why some people have mental and all of that. No, that's because you're doing what you shouldn't be doing. That's why you're losing that mind and all of that. You got to learn. See, this isn't for play. We are not Charmed. We're not a movie. This is real life. And these are people's souls and energy and spirits that you're sitting up here trying to play with. So I love it. I always say our altar is the heartbeat. It is. It's the heartbeat of every room. That's why I always suggest people to have it there in their home. And candles are so powerful. That's our protection. So I just hope that more people open up to it and see that it's nothing scary. And just be receptive to it. But that's okay. As for now, we walk in our power all day. Our energy, as soon as we step in the room, everything that comes from our mouth is knowledge. So you're enticing. There's a reason that people are enticed to our energy. When you see the lights flickering around, I don't even have lights flickering. This is just energy. You'll understand the frequency at some point. And sometimes when your frequency ain't right, sometimes that frequency you can't record, do nothing, because the mind's like, this frequency's off.
That's so true. And it shows, man. I'm not even gonna
we just gonna leave that right there.
That's a little inside joke between me and Empress. That's a little inside between her and I. But that's okay. Things that are understood don't need to be said.
Don't need to nothing at all. Right. Listen, I'm playing. I'm sorry.
And we love everyone, and they'll get it. They'll get it. They will, because me and
you get it, though. That's all right there. We know, because we know we're supposed to be doing.
Oh my
Listen,
God,
I just
this has
love you.
been
You don't even
great.
understand. I love it. That's anything. Your energy and your healing, a true healer. I pay homage to the divine, but I pay homage to you for doing the work that you do and stepping out and doing what you do. I don't even think you understand. Like I always say, you're more than just a legacy. You're a whole movement, and you're necessary. So we're grateful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been great. I could go on and on. All the questions I have written down for you. It just we just went a whole nother
Right,
direction.
right. We just be gone.
But that's what happens when you follow spirit, right?
Exactly. You just let
You
it
just
go. It
go.
always happens. It's natural how it goes, right?
Man, I can tell you what stands out to me about your journey that is similar to mine in some regard, but just noticing the different things that happen in different practitioners' lives. I would say there's something that happens to
Hmm.
us in the physical when our parent transitions.
Yes.
Traditionally, when our parents transition, that's a certain level of power that
Hmm.
we have and
Hmm.
responsibility in this realm.
To
So we have
continue.
to now stand up and take that call. And
Exactly.
they say when you lose your mother, you become an elder in the family. And so for you to lose your mother um, so young, that just shows the elevation that is coming for you. And you have stepped and walked into that. And when you are a spiritual person, sometimes those things have to happen to get us to go and um, follow the unseen world. I'll share a little bit
Yeah.
of my story, and I don't share this often. Um, I don't know that I've put this on a podcast. We'll see. Um, but it was in 2006. I believe it was 2000. Yep, 2006. Um, my partner was tragically killed in a car accident. There was a whole situation behind it. All I knew, they were going to work in the morning and never came home.
Mm.
Devastated my life. And it was through that loss um, that sent me on a search to learn how to connect.
Yes.
Because you can feel the energy there. Well, I say right? I don't want to speak for everyone. I could feel the energy there. I would see things, I would
Mhm.
hear things when I would dream. If I could sleep, right? If I could
Right.
sleep, I would
Hmm.
dream. And I just had to know, I had to connect. And it caused me to start going to different readers, different
Yes.
diviners to try to connect. And then after a while, it was like, I wanted to connect so much. I was like,
Hmm.
"God, I'm consuming too much. I just have to learn how to do this for myself."
Yeah.
Right? It becomes
No,
one of those
really. Yes. Yes.
it becomes one of those things. I'm spending too much money on
Yes.
readings.
Right. And I had to learn about who was listening. But yeah.
I'm
Okay.
spending I need to learn how to connect. And
Yeah.
and you learn, like you said, you start to play these games like, okay, if you're there, then show me this, do this. You start to come, you start to play, and it's
Mhm.
like, am I crazy? Did I really?
Right. No, for it. Yes.
Or if that's the case, then do this. And then and then next thing you know, this door is open. You get this answer you wanted. You get that. And it's like, yo.
Right, right. Like, okay, y'all was playing. You did not teach, but it was necessary. And then you see how high you sit, and you've been doing this the whole time. And that's why it's like grieving, and it becomes different. It's like, okay, I lost you. Okay, so listen, y'all. That's that, I've lost several family this the past, but it's always been talking to us. We just didn't know.
Right.
And And then you understand who you are. And sometimes we walk alone, but I'm never alone, baby. My spirit guides and all, and my aunt, they right here next to me. That's another thing. I need no but me. Because if I want to talk, let me talk. Because look, your family over here acting the fool. I don't know if you.
That's how it, and I could say to this day, it's been what, like 16 years. To this day, I still take care of my partner's spirit. To this day.
And you can still feel them and the taps.
Yeah,
And it's like,
all
is
of
this
my
really
ancestors. And
my
and this is one of the things, and I don't want to get too deep because I don't know if they're ready, but it's like when you learn how to take care of the energy on the other side, and give them what they need, they'll give you what you need.
yes,
And it
yes.
no longer becomes a negative force, right? I was
doesn't.
teaching someone a couple weeks back. They were saying, "Oh, I only speak to my honored ancestors." And I'm just like, you think you only have a responsibility to the elevated, honored ones?
Right.
No, that you have a responsibility to all of them. And if they are not in a place where they are good, where you call them honored, you have to feed them and elevate them and do the work to get them to where
Exactly.
they're not angry anymore. You
Exactly. We
can't
are
just
not
say,
fearful.
right, that
It's
means that
power.
your bloodline needs work. So you
Yes.
can't get if you keep get this, then that means you need to give them something. They're hurting, they're painting. You need to find out what it is. Come to a practitioner, right? And find out where is it missing. Because when you
Yes.
help them, it helps you. So there's no, so I
Yeah,
want
because
to,
it's a
I don't
proportionate.
even know where that came from.
Nope,
I
that was
only
necessary.
acknowledge and maybe that's just,
That's when you know someone's not, it's that, because there's a portion right now that I fight, and that's how you know an educated, a real spiritual healer, by the way that we speak and things, because some of this is just TikTok, but you don't even know what you're speaking of. So therefore, it's not even that, and we go against people, and that's why we're also knowledgeable. Oh, you don't know who you praying to. What? It's like, no, no, no. You don't know. See, I know what my power is. You don't know what you're, see, that the fact that you're not willing to face that, oh, you don't know what you call there. And that's what you need to work on. That's why you still have it going through the bloodline, because you refuse to address it, heal it, and then move forward.
right.
So, with that, it just tells you how in tune, because I always say the divine ordained me, not man. And it was also learning and connecting and trusting the guidance of who I was saying. And I also had to grow. We all were toxic and at some point. We all were, but I had to go to even be able to show you how to get through and see it. That's why I could see it.
Yeah.
So,
And
with
you know
that,
what, that it's a life journey though, right?
always
Because who I am today in 2022 is not going to be the same person I am in 2023, 24,
nope,
or 25.
nope. And
Right?
that's what I
Who you
always tell
are,
people.
Empress, today, your power should
Is
not be the
not,
same a year, 2, 3 years from now.
it's exactly why I don't trust my 18-year-old self to direct me, my 30-year-old self. Sometimes we gotta get like, we 18, you want, I was 18. Just like when I go to the store, no, where's the adult? Like,
Right, right, right.
so we're
Yeah.
forever growing. But
This
yeah,
has been a
definitely. So you
wonderful,
can always,
wonderful conversation.
yeah. So I'm grateful that we're gonna let you get out here. We got things to do.
Yeah, so let everyone know where to find you, your email, your Instagram, how you like to be contacted, because I'm pretty sure that once people watch this, listen to this, experience you, they're going to want to keep in
Yeah.
touch. So how do they reach you?
So you can contact me. I do have a website at empressjoshett.com, EmpressJoshett. You can also Google that, and it'll pop up too. And then I do a lot of things through my Instagram, which is simply the Empress Joshett. There are no spaces, no zeros, no numbers. I do have a lot of people, for some reason, a spike in fake pages being created. So just know I will never contact you first. You will need to contact me. I'm not going to ask for money, things like that. You can always press the book now on my Instagram or Facebook. or on my website. And that'll also give you the information to contact me through my phone number. But I really just advise people, you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok as well, under Empress Joshett. I do a lot of free readings or channeled messages that you'll see come through. And try to teach what divine messages and unveiling. I always call it unveiling with the Empress. So we're changing things that were once complicated as simple, and kind of learning how to talk to spirit, as well as changing our perspective of things. So go ahead and add me, Instagram, Divine Masculines, Divine Feminines, what are all those things, and perspective changes and unveiling. Because, I do get a lot of questions. What spirit numbers? Where's all of this? It's like, are you even paying attention to spirit? Just make sure you see it.
So you guys know where to find her. Empress, can you just give them a rundown of your services and what they mean, right? If it's someone new and they don't know what channeling is, or they don't know what a reading is, well, can you tell them what you do and what it is?
So I do connect directly with the divine, or I am a spirit medium. So that means passed on loved ones. I allow them to come in and talk and let them talk. I don't summon in energy. I feel like if they have something to say, they will say it. And then I also do, as far as for healing work, when it comes to healing your soul. I always say, when you have a reading with me, a tarot reading, because I do more than just tarot using cards, it's a conversation between me and your soul. So things that are going on with you internally, and the sense of direction, and also kind of like bringing you back to regular earth humanity, like just that we're humans and we go through things, and you don't have to have these superpowers, and that I'm more or less teaching you how to pay attention when spirit passed on loved ones and the divine is talking to you. So usually a session with tarot reading is more of an outcry, a pour, get your emotions out, handle that. All right, let's move forward, because I'm not your family, I'm not your friend. I'm someone, we're gonna be raw. So yeah, somebody could did you dirty, but at the end of the day, we're not angry, we're hurt. And that's what happened. Our sadness turns into anger. So we'll address that. And then also channeling is more or less where I kind of sit with myself and meditation, and things come to my heart. And I always say, sometimes it's my mind. That's also where in the beginning I had to understand when the divine was talking to me and when it was something else. To where I listen and I send out messages that I feel that the collective or others need to hear. And that resonates with their life. Also, remember, a lot of us are going through exact same things, even though we feel alone. And that's why you can listen to a reading with me online and it resonates. And it doesn't resonate for you, it resonates for many. So you're never alone, even when we feel alone. So, really, it's just connection with spirit. I'm kind of the one, I don't have fear because I know I have control. If I don't want somebody's energy to bother me, then I won't. But I also have respect for others. So please do not call me asking about what's going on with my daughter. And I mean, as far as for me, I am the type of, hey, that is their spiritual space. I will protect that. Is she safe? Yes, but I will not go into other people's energy just out of respect. If they didn't ask me to go into their energy. So with that, I don't do love spells and things, because you shouldn't need a love spell. If you need a love spell, baby, that for me, I'm honest. I think that's spiritual rape. So, when someone's meant for you and they love you, there is a sense of self-love that we work into in light and harmonizing. And that's something that we will learn and that I teach too. So what candles to light to make maybe love come in, self-love, and be able to stop bickering and fighting in the home, and how to defeat that. That's kind of the information that I go in, but we don't do come to me spells and things like that, because if I have to put a spell on you, then you might not be my person.
Right. No, that's good. And they need to know that, right? People need to know that as practitioners, we have boundaries, we have values, and there's things that we will and won't do, especially being light workers. We have to educate.
Right. Everything come back on me, baby. Don't ask me to sin. We can cut listen. Nope. My spirit is not worked. I ain't having nobody come after me. And as a priestess, we can't do like everybody else. Y'all steal something from our shoulders, we lose everything. We forced to, because let us steal one little thing, we didn't lose a grand. We ain't getting nothing. Like we don't even get to operate like that. Like
they don't understand. With us, it's like instant karma. Right?
Instant karma. Right.
What were you doing?
Because you know better.
Man, I know I can speak for me. It's like I've taken a lot of oaths, people don't like to hear blood covenants, but I've
Yeah.
done that. I'm a priest. I was in Africa in the bush. That's what we do. Like my power is not fake, And so when you take these oaths, it's you have to adhere. The power comes with restrictions. The power comes with responsibility. We don't get these gifts just no. So yeah, I'm not gonna make your husband's side chick have an abortion.
Right. That's his car. Listen, there's some.
They come to me for this. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna do that.
We're not
I'm not gonna union you guys together. No.
Do I know? Am I aware? Yes, because I'm knowledgeable and I also have to recognize it. But also, there are things that we don't understand. That's why some of our money, our karma, things stop up when betrayals happen. That's why we stop getting things, because we won't stop giving to people who are betraying us. It's like, okay, I'm giving this to you. You keep giving it all. Okay, well, then I'm going to stop it altogether. Okay. So, also people have their karma, and that's how things happen, because people also have their lessons to learn. And that's why sometimes we have to understand. Sometimes you lose your partners, you're in separation for a moment, so they can go deal with that, because you won't dish it to them and they won't learn. So they got to meet another version of them. And then they will acknowledge you and see you in the light and power that you actually operated out of. So they have to go get with somebody like them so that you can know. So I always say, just let it go. If we keep waiting on things, it's not going to come in. You have to put it in, trust, and walk away, and then allow for it to be.
Right.
So,
again, it's been a pleasure. You know how we do. We can continue this all day.
Right. Like, listen, okay, let's go. We go get it. Like, oh, y'all just be talking. Yeah, we got lesson upon lesson. Look, when you talk to somebody who know me and you listen, we can just be going, because finally you meet someone, yes, we can talk, you understand what I'm saying.
No, this has been great. Thank you again for coming on the podcast. This is the first episode of a series introducing Black women, holistic healers to the community that have just been a powerhouse in these festives. And you guys, I told you I needed to introduce you to the people who have been in these festives, helping and healing. And so this is one, Miss Empress Joshett. And I thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for giving us your time, giving us your wisdom. I honor you. I honor your ancestors, your jinns, your spirit guides. I honor everything that is with you. Keep it going. Keep it going. And yes, until next time.
Until next time.
Be well.
Bye-bye.